Welcome to round 3 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and race number 3 is about to get started, but right now the French Championship has a very special stage to go through. This is Theo Calvay's team. He was the winner of the Promoters Cup last year in 2022, and now his mechanics are trying to gain some more points for the French Championship, meaning he is standing outside watching his guys taking these really heavy tires, running one round over there. Once they're done, everything is pretty set. He has to run back. This is what Le Mans is actually pretty known for, to his driver's seat and then get started. So fingers across for him that this is going to work out and giving him more points. Talking about points, we have Norbert Kisch on pole, and maybe this race might be the one turning him into the European champion 2023, but see for yourself. First of all, a big hello to Chas Strykot, our commentator.
Hello everybody. Yes indeed, the third race of the weekend is just about to get underway here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My name is Chas Strykot and I'm the English commentator for this amazing series, and once again happy to be back. I'm commentating from the UK again this weekend, but happy to say that I will be on site at Jarama, so maybe you will be cursed with seeing my horrible face on camera while we're out there over the course of that final weekend. But as Lena has mentioned, Norbert Kisch is on the brink of becoming a five-time European Truck Racing champion, matching the legendary Steve Parish, and then being one championship away from the legend, of course, that is Jochen Hahn, a six-time champion himself. The sun is shining and the spirits are high here at Le Mans as the teams and personnel make their way onto the grid. It's a great time to be involved in the truck racing. And, well, there is one man that absolutely loves truck racing, as he will continually tell you, which is Tim Frost. Norbert Kisch then winning the qualifying session earlier on, putting it on pole in the qualifying session earlier on, I should say, by over 0.7 of a second from Sascha Lenz with that great lap towards the end of the session as well. Sascha taking that right at the death. Jochen Hahn in second place in the championship really needs to work hard to chase Norby down in this first race, but Antonio Albacete is going to be hot on his heels as well. Jamie Anderson will start fifth alongside Steffi Halm, and then the rest of the field had a bit of confusion to think about as they went through their qualifying session, because Jose Rodriguez got removed from the initial part of qualifying, which did promote John Newell into the top 10. But John was then not allowed out on the circuit, or he was guided into the paddock, mistakenly I should say, to then not take part in Super Bowl. John will start 10th on the grid. Jose Rodriguez will start at the back of the pack, so John still gets his 10th position, although I'm sure that we would have all loved to see him take a chance and take a shot at Super Bowl and see where he would have ended up on the grid. The trucks are just making their way around to said grid now. We've got Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Sascha Lenz, and then John Newell following on. The next one down the hill is Louis Requenco. This is the long right-hander at the bottom of the hill, which is Virage de la Chapelle, one of the most beautiful corners on the circuit. There's the guys from the Apollo Tyres team as well. There is Stefan as well, and talk about legendary truck builders that should be on the grid. Well, Stefan, definitely one of them. Stefan Honens, that is. He's part of the NWT Motorsport team and has built some phenomenal racing trucks in his time. Also teamed up with the delightful gentleman that is Terry Gibbon as well. Terry's always a good laugh. And there is Antonio Albacete's MAN making its way to the grid for T-Sport Bernau. He will be starting this race fourth on the grid alongside his long-time sparring partner Jochen Hahn. The two of them have had many intense and exciting battles over the years. Nearly 700 starts between the two of them, actually, at this point in their careers. Apologies. I'm supposed to say nearly 700 podiums, because they have nearly 300 apiece at this moment in time. It's remarkable stuff. Terrible maths by me, I must say. But still, two legends of the sport well and truly glued together on the grid. There is Jochen Hahn, the other part of that duo. Interesting to see that his son's truck is out there this weekend under the control of Louis Requenco for this weekend. Louis having that massive engine failure at Zolder a few weeks ago, and unfortunately the truck not able to be fixed in time. I believe Louis may be running that truck as well at the end of the season at Jarama in a week's time. A lot of the teams will be heading straight there from Le Mans just tomorrow. I will be heading out to Madrid on Tuesday, and a lot of the teams and the organisers will be staying in Madrid, maybe just trying to get a bit of respite for 1 or 2 days before heading down. There's a lot of attention on the front left of Antonio Albasetti's truck here. There is Tim Frost getting involved as well, just to check it over. And Lena is down there actually to have a quick word with Antonio, the man himself.
Yes, Antonio, what are the guys doing to your truck right now? What's going on?
Sorry?
¿Qué pasa?
I don't know, there is a strange noise and we have to see what's going on. I don't know. I think it's something loose or something like that, but they have to check.
In qualifying, you went out to the gravel. So are you still having the same issues with the tires you had yesterday? What is this all about?
Yeah, more or less the same, yeah. But then something happened, you know, so that's why I missed the brakes. But they check and seems to be everything okay, so I don't know.
But are you feeling confident because you're still fighting for points, right?
Yeah, I will try for sure, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let them do their job. See you later. Thank you so much. Chaz, back to you. This is really a last-minute job over here.
Yeah, very interesting to see that, actually, that Antonio's got all that work going on. This is the circuit where they'll be doing battle today, and Norbert Kish may take his championship. The Le Mans Bugatti circuit is an absolute gem on our calendar. Many very tricky corners indeed. So we have to certainly be cautious around here as drivers. It's definitely one that has a lot of different elements to it, ups and downs and lefts and rights that are very quick in succession after one another. Some of these chicanes are monumental, but other ones very small and tight as well. Garage Vert, a specialist corner indeed, because of the fact that it's a double apexed right-hander and drivers have to be so smooth on the exit of there for the back straight down towards Chemin-Aubœuf. The air temperature 20 degrees here today at Le Mans as well, so much warmer than it was yesterday here out in the French countryside. There's an airport nearby as well, actually, that you can see. There's aircraft landing there as of this moment in time as well. It runs almost completely parallel to the start-finish straight here at Le Mans, but it's only ever a small amount of aircraft during the day. So it doesn't actually provide any sort of disruption to the racing. We saw an airport nearby at Poznan, actually, as well, earlier in the season, which was also completely parallel to the start-finish straight. There's the Don't Touch Racing team, waiting to get things underway. I'm sure they'll be very excited for this one, because Andre Kurzim's driving this weekend has been on top form. He's been battling oh so hard to hold on to whatever positions he can. He's certainly a great driver when it comes to defending, and knows his way around a circuit like this as well, where it is a bit easier to defend than other tracks on the calendar. There's very much only one line through a lot of these corners, but look at the amount of fans we have here today. There is loads of them here at Le Mans, and they always fill the entire start-finish straight every single day for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're delighted to have them with us and hope that they enjoy their day and the spectacle of the races. There is the Promoters' Cup row a little bit further down, which is Mark Taylor alongside Stefan Fass. Those two drivers starting 11th and 12th on the grid behind Louis Requenco and John Newell. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez yet again leading the Promoters' Cup in that previous qualifying session. Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Jose Rodriguez will start from the back row of the grid down there on row 7, but still with plenty of opportunities to move forward and gain points as the races go on. They've been a bit attritional so far, these races, with a couple of retirements in each. But as of right now, everybody, I'm just about to go quiet for a second as we welcome our international TV viewers from around the world to our broadcast and our show. I'll be back in a sec.
Welcome back to Le Mans, France, and the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Race number 3 is about to get started on this very sunny and lovely Sunday. And here's the winner of race number 2 of yesterday, Jamie Anderson. And you seem to be quite confident and relaxed right now. Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah, good. We had a good race yesterday, and we'll see how we get on in this race. See what happens in front. We're slowly trying to get a bit more confident. We was a bit happy with setup yesterday in the race too. So we'll see what happens now in this race.
How much do you like Le Mans as a racetrack in the series of all racetracks?
Yeah, it's very good. It's got a lot of history. You got the museum. As the history of the track is amazing, and to actually sit here and race here, it's a brilliant track. It's a good mixture of corners. It always brings good crowds, so the whole lot is good, and the atmosphere.
So being a winner, you also got a towel that says Le Mans, because they were just celebrating the 100th birthday. Happy birthday, Le Mans, by the way. So did you keep the towel as a special souvenir?
Yeah, definitely. That's part and parcel of the package. So yeah, it's good. It's good memorabilia, and it's good to show your journey in life.
All right. So good luck and good races to you for today. And Chaz Draycott, our lovely English commentator, is in the field as well, of course. Hello.
Hello, Lena. Hello, everybody. Yes, welcome to Le Mans and this fantastic Bugatti circuit for the next race meeting in the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. I'm commentating back from the UK for this weekend. Very jealous of those that have got to visit this amazing venue, but I am still absolutely loving the race weekend, as I always do. Joachim Eberts and Fonzie Cebrian, my German and Spanish colleagues, will be commentating over on the German and Spanish streams as well. So if you'd like to see those online and get commentary in German and Spanish, then to just head to the the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch them on there with your selection of languages. There is John Newell. A thumbs up from John. Despite the frustrations earlier on today, there was a bit of confusion during qualifying. So Jose Rodriguez was inside the top 10, and those top 10 positions usually make it through into Superpole. However, he had his lap times deleted for overspeeding. What then wasn't communicated was that John Newell was popped up into 10th place and into Superpole, and he was then unfortunately mistakenly led back into Parc Fermé and the paddock, and he was obviously frustrated with that. Lena is there to have a chat with him now, though.
Hey John, how is your mood right now after what happened before and with the Superpole qualifying?
Yeah, the mood's good. We start 10th place, we try and make a couple of places and try and get pole for the next race on the reverse grid. Maybe, maybe not, we will see.
Right, well, this has been a quite good season for you for now, so are you happy to be here today again?
Yeah, very happy to be here today. The crowds are great, the racing will be good, and the weather's beautiful, so just need to put a good performance in now.
Right, so you go and eat Le Mans as a racetrack and have fun today. I'll see you later. And I think I might have a look for Mark Taylor, because it's his 25th race over here now. Let's go see him chat over to... Oh, there he is. Come on. Let's run over there and have a quick chat with Mark as well. He also had some issues on his truck, but it seems, oh, the music is playing again. Again, same song always, Eye of the Tiger. Hello, Tiger, how are you feeling?
I'm good. He's Mr. Motivator in the team. He gets everyone motivated for racing.
Do you know that you have a celebration in this race right now? 25th.
You what, sorry?
25th.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Didn't even know that. No.
So it's a very young birthday you're celebrating right now. So you have a fun day as well. I think everybody's in quite a good mood. It's been super cold this morning and a little moist, and I can tell that they were trying to try off the track. No worries right now. I think we are ready for everything and to get started with the racing. So Chaz, back to you, and maybe one more interview to come in quite a second.
Thank you very much, Lena. Yes, great to hear from our British drivers there. John Newell obviously in a very good mood as well, and Mark Taylor feeling very motivated, quite literally there. But yes, it is his 25th race in the championship here. Mark has joined us for this brand new campaign this season. There's been a couple of races, unfortunately, that he hasn't taken part in this season due to damage to the truck at Most as well. So it's been great to see him come back onto the grid and, of course, race at full form as well. They certainly dove straight back into their performances at Zolder. and the truck was well repaired and well ready to go, basically. Mark certainly was fired up as well to make sure that he got some points back for all of the dramas that happened in Most. He's actually locked in quite an intense battle in the championship with John Newell as well for third place. And what we're going to do in just a moment is go back down to the grid, and we're going to speak to Lena, who has got that aforementioned final interview for us.
It's Jose Rodriguez, the father of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, who might be the winner of the Promoters Cup. We don't know yet because we're still collecting points. And he has a special hello to all the Portuguese fans that are watching right now.
Hi, hello. Tive problemas hoje de excesso de velocidade, overspeed, e portanto estou a sair aqui do último lugar, vou tentar uma melhor.
I really love your helmet, by the way. It's a very nice one. So you go and have fun today. He just got the black flag at qualifying. This is why he's starting from the back. But that doesn't mean anything. As we saw, there are so many people just trying to find a gap, and they're like 5th and 6th in just a second. So let's see how this race goes. Chaz, back to you.
Yeah, it was a real shame for Jose earlier on because his pace was looking really good, and when he actually got a solid lap on the board, I believe he was up there in the top 5 at one point. So it was certainly great to see that he's got the pace still, and it's nice to have him back on our grid again for this season. There is the official truck, the Ford F-Max, on its inspection lap. We are once again partnered up with Ford for the 2023 season, or Ford Trucks I should say. It's great to have them back on board again. This is one of 2 examples that you can see around the paddock and in the innovation camp if you head around the circuit when you come to one of our venues. This is the blue and white example. There's also an orange and black one as well. It's a bit of a difference from the previous seasons where we've had 2 completely different coloured examples, or sorry, 2 identically coloured examples in the past. And the Ford F-Max is being used here for an inspection lap, so basically to check that everything on the circuit is all good and there's no debris and nothing untoward that could affect the racing in a negative manner. It really is a great bit of kit as well, is the Ford F-Max. I've spent a couple of laps around circuits all over Europe in this thing, and I really do love it. And the drivers love it as well. They certainly enjoy themselves when it comes to a race weekend. And it looks fantastic in the sunshine here as well, shining bright and blue and wonderful. Unfortunately, we don't see that many of them on the road over here in the UK, which is very sad because I think it's a very pretty truck, easily one of the prettiest on the market. And the cabs themselves and the interiors are all absolutely stunning as well. There is the rest of the field. Hopefully we'd see some Ford F-Max racing trucks in the championship at some point as well. Be nice to have even more diversity with the manufacturers that we have out there on the grid. We have all MANs on the front row, then an Iveco in the form of Jochen Hahn's machine, and another MAN in the form of Antonio Albacete. Behind them we have Jamie Anderson's MAN, Steffi Halm's Iveco, another MAN Iveco row in the form of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Andre Kurzim, and then another Iveco in terms of Louis Requenco and John Newell's MAN. It's nice to see that there is a bit more of an even spread now. I think in one of the first seasons where I ever commentated the championship, we only had 2 or 3 Ivecos, and the entire rest of the field was MANs. But we also have the Scanias of Stefan Faas and Heinrich Clemens Hecker as well. Those 2 starting near the back of the grid this time round, but they are usually battling for the top positions in the Promoters Cup. So it's great to see, like I say, that we've got that variation. You can tell which ones are the Scanias. There's one on the left-hand side there of Heinrich Clemens Hecker. They are so boxy and beefy, really chunky-looking machines, as opposed to this sort of skinnier top end of the cab of the MAN TGXs and TGSs. The green flag was waved at the back there, and I believe the championship trophy will be presented at the front of the grid, just behind our Iveco S-Way pace truck. And there it is, right on cue. That is the trophy that Norbert Kish could be lifting not too long from now. All he needs to do in this race, basically, is finish in 3rd position. There are currently a good, solid set of points left on the table. We've got 90 points available in the championship, and after this race that'll be down to 70. He's currently 78 points clear of Jochen Hahn. I apologise for any stumbling. I'm just trying to do the maths in the background while all this is going on as well. But He's on 334 points at the moment to the 256 of Jochen Hahn, so he's 78 points clear. 90 left on the table as of right now, but then 70 after that. So Jochen needs to outscore Norby by 8 points in this race to be able to stand a chance, and basically Norby would have to finish 4th with Jochen first for the race to the top of the championship anyway to carry on. 20 points for winning a race, 15 for second place, 12 for third, and then 10 points for 4th. And it's a different point scoring system in the first race of the day compared to the second race of the day as well. Because of the reverse grid, obviously the positions on the grid aren't earned as much on merit, so drivers get less points for winning those sorts of races if they are given a bit of a chance by being put to the front of the grid, let's say. This is our Bio LNG powered Iveco S-Way, glorious big blue machine that leads us around and is the official pace truck of the 2023 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And we have again 2 of them as examples in the paddock, and you can see Frank really throwing this thing around. He's certainly getting those front tyres smoking. And one of the best things about the Iveco S-Way Bio LNG is that it doesn't lose really any power or torque by being Bio LNG powered instead of diesel. Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz make a very exciting front row of the grid. Sascha had some great pace in the end of qualifying, so I'm excited to see what he can do in this race. Jochen Hahn next up with Antonio Albacete alongside him on row 2. The old boys, as Jochen called them here just a season or so ago. Jamie Anderson next up in 5th place, fresh off his race 2 victory yesterday, will start alongside Steffi Halm. She was chasing him all the way to the flag in that race as well. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez starts 7th and top of the Promoters' Cup ahead of Andre Kurzim, who joins him on the 4th row of the grid. Then we have Louis Requenco in 9th position with John Newell in the top 10 after making it through into Superpole. Stefan Faas in the Scania is next up with Mark Taylor alongside him on the 6th row of the grid. And then on the final row of the grid, Heinrich Clemens Hecker with a 2 minutes 10.3 as his lap time. But Jose Rodriguez, unfortunately, it wasn't quite thumbs up for him in Superpole earlier on, as he had his lap times deleted for overspeeding. So the trucks themselves are governed, not limited, to 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers an hour. And this is basically monitored by a GPS system within the trucks. They get a decimal point to sort of display on their screen, let's say, all the way around the circuit as to what speed they are doing, and they have to stay within 160 kilometers an hour. They can slightly exceed it sometimes, but they've got a very strict time limit to get back under that 160 kilometer an hour speed. There's some very, very interesting music playing around the circuit right now in the tannoy. Very fitting indeed, though, as they make their way out there. You can just hear it in the background, listen. It's fantastic. They really do put on a show here at Le Mans. But the trucks themselves and the drivers and the teams are about to do just that as we get ready for round 27 of the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And we are... wait for it. Go now. And the trucks roar into life. There's a big split of the grid further back. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. And oh, looks like is that Andre Kurzim that's slowing down. Andre Kurzim's had a drama and he's dropped to the back of the pack. There was a massive gap on the right-hand side. And unfortunately, his race is over before it started. But Norbert Kish leads them up towards turns 1 and 2 into the chicane. Jochen Hahn was trying to go down the inside. And it looks like Andre Kurzim's truck is not going anywhere. That may be a red flag because it is on the start-finish straight. There's a lot of argy-bargy on the exit of the first chicane. Norbert Kish stretches his lead. Sascha Lenz has had a nightmare start. He's lost a lot of bodywork on the front right of the truck as well. So he's had a clip somewhere from somebody. Antonio Albacete is in 3rd place. Jamie Anderson's moved up into 4th position. Mark Taylor's getting involved in that battle near the back of the pack there. He's certainly got a lot to look at. Jose Rodriguez tries to make his way through, and as you see, the red flag is out. That's a real shame, that is. But it's one of those things. We don't have a sort of safety car procedure or a pace truck procedure here. So, unfortunately, the race has to be stopped. And at the end of the day, because of the size of these machines and the recovery operation that will need to take place to move one of the trucks, the race has no option other than to be red flagged, which is completely understandable. But Andrei Kurzim's truck just did not get going. I did wonder when they crossed the line, it seemed like a lot of them hesitated and were going very slowly. Obviously, you have to be hesitant because you don't want to overtake before the start-finish line if a truck is slow just because of reaction times or something. But if a truck has an issue... now he's actually got going again. There's Andrei Kurzim. I know that gravity hasn't done that because, one, it would take a hell of a lot of gravity to move one of these things anyway, but he's had to go uphill to then come back downhill. Hopefully there's no fluids coming out of the truck or anything that are going onto the racing line where he is there. But he's definitely able to get going again. I can't see from my stream whether there's any fluids coming out. I did notice quite comically that as we came round the final corner, the penalty markers were already knocked over and rolling around on the circuit, which was quite interesting. The grid will be reformed, I am told. Thanks again to my wonderful colleague Alice, or Auntie Alice, who is sending me all the information from Race Control. Let's have a look. Yeah, look, Kurzim already over to one side, and, well, Jose Rodriguez flew through the middle. He saw an opportunity and he thought, stuff it, I'm taking that. And there will be no team personnel onto the grid, I'm told, so everybody will just restart straight away. So there will not be a sort of a reset period here for people to go and fettle with the trucks, which I'm thinking some of them might be a little bit miffed with, because Sasha Lenz, especially in his team, would want to have a look at that front end. There was definitely some contact in there somewhere. I can't see any teams with any sort of major damage on the right-hand side of their trucks at the moment. There's a little bit... you can see actually there, look, the left rear of Antonio Albasetti's truck has been bashed in, and it was the front right of Sasha Lenz's truck that was damaged, so it seems like the contact was between those two. Such a beautiful sight that, though, isn't it? Look at that around the final corner here at Le Mans. Look how busy it is and how compact this part of the racing circuit is, with this massive grandstand that looks over either side of it. You can see the museum off up in the distance at the top of the hill. Norbert Kish makes his way to the front of the grid. And there is Sasha Lenz with a big chunk missing out of the front right now. That looks very dramatic, but it won't make much of a difference in terms of how the truck behaves. It does look like personnel are being allowed on the grid, actually, while they reform said grid. As we see, there's an element there. Now, this might sound really harsh here, but I've never understood quite how perfectly grids get reformed or relined up when we know that we're going to go and do a rolling start anyway. So I'm not sure if there's some set reason or procedure for that, but having them so perfectly lined up where it comes down to just a few millimetres has always baffled me. You can see Andrei Kurzim making his way back to the grid. He's going to be allowed to retake his qualifying position on the grid, which is good. And he will be 8th on the grid for this one, so he's going to be very grateful to have that second chance. And it's not a coincidence that all the branding on the building on the right-hand side is all yellow and blue. It's not because of the Don't Touch Racing team colours. Kurzim has just waited at the back of the grid just to get confirmation, I think, that he can move forward, and yes, there he is. The Iveco seemingly all right to run again. He was only going slowly around that previous lap because of the fact that it was red flagged, so you're not allowed to go at full race pace. And I know some of the wonderful people from the FIA will make their way down there just to make sure everything's all good. They'll speak with him and just ask what the problem was. I can see my wonderful friend Connie down there. She's just been instructed to go over and either tell Louis Requenco off or go and have a look at something, as I think Franz Stahlberg has just been the one to open the door on Andrei Kurzim's machine. It does look like we've not actually got any team personnel down there. 10-minute board held high, just about, in the end. Seemed like there was a very last-minute instruction there for that gentleman. And I'm not sure we're going to get that full wait time, to be honest. I think that we are being told 10 minutes, actually, so we will just make sure everything's all good. They may expedite that if every truck is given a tick and everyone is allowed to get back up to full racing speed again without any sort of interruption. But an interesting start to the race there. Again, a little bit of confusion at the start, it seems, amongst all of the drivers. It's very easy, though, to overstep the mark with a rolling start because there is no set lights on, lights off situation with a standing start. You have to sort of sometimes base when you go off the trucks around you. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez there being spoken to. And finger on the buzzer quite literally right now. Red lights are all on, and very intriguing. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is making his way down the middle of the grid and past the front of said grid. You could see Connie Tolkien just amending the rear end of Antonio Albacetti's machine there just to make sure that rear arch is not a problem for anybody else. And it looks like they're either giving Jose Eduardo Rodriguez a head start or he's going to go back to the paddock. The wing mirrors signifying a very sad and down body language of that car, like two spaniels' ears in the wind. I told you they've got the turning circle of a small moon. And been told that he has a puncture, which is why he's not been allowed to retake the start. Not allowed to start in this condition. I couldn't see which tyre it was that was punctured there. I think it's on the left rear, actually. And he's going to have to go back to the paddock to get that fixed, it seems. That's a real shame for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but it means that it's going to spice things up in terms of the Promoters' Cup for everybody else. Connie and Franz just doing their final checks of everybody's vehicles down the grid. And as you can see, the sunshine's still battering the circuit right now. It's not the hottest race weekend we've been to, but I tell you what, it's certainly hotter than it was last year at Le Mans. We had a very cloudy and very rainy race weekend here last year. And I wonder how quickly Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and the team could get that tyre changed, because it's a much longer procedure in truck racing, as you can imagine, to change a tyre. But then it's not going to take an entire 5 minutes, but they have to do it while the truck is in the awning. They can't just park it in the paddock and do it from there. Lena is down there on the ground, though, with a better view of things, I believe.
Yeah, Antonio Albacete had quite a good start. He was like in the middle, but he got a bump, and I saw your team screaming like no when they stopped the race. So what's going on?
Yeah, we had a really good start. It's really hard to see the lights on the start because of the direction of the sun, and then we managed to get in front of Jochen and Sasha, and then with the red flag it all happens again, you know, so it's bad luck. But
were you in contact with Antonio? Were you able to speak? What is his plan right now?
There we go again, huh? We give everything now for the last half of the season, so I think it should be a good race.
All right, so 1 minute to start. I'll let you do your job, and let's see how this race is going to restart.
Thank you, Lena. Yeah, always good to hear from Tim, and I can imagine the excitement on the pit wall from him and the T-Sport Bernal guys. They're so passionate when they're on the, anywhere, to be honest. A great bunch of people. But they'll be hoping that Antonio can do that again. What we do often see is that the race engineers will sort of post themselves a bit further down the start-finish straight where they can see the start lights, and they'll be ready on the microphone to tell their drivers go as soon as those lights go out. There's usually a big collection of them. There's the Reverse Racing team and all of their guys standing by and waiting for Norby to do the job. Don't forget, he could win the championship in this race for 2023, which would be the third time on the bounce. It's only been achieved a couple of times I should say, by other drivers in the past, and he would match and equal the legendary Steve Parish with this fifth title, would Norby. It's looking likely that he's going to do it, but it's a case of when, not if. And he's going to be hoping that he gets a much better start this time round, though, than Sasha Lenz, because Sasha will be fired up after that previous one. He let his guard down slightly, and then the contact would have riled him up even more as well. So let's see how this one goes for them. We've got the pace truck driven by our beautiful Frank the Tank leading the way. But Norbert Kish has had another absolutely outstanding season so far, and he's taken a good 18 race victories so far this season. 21 podium appearances, and as my notes always say, he dominated in 2015 with 19 race victories there. If he wins this one, he's going to equal that, and then we've got another race here and an entire race weekend left to go. So this season has been the most dominant we've seen Norbert Kish, and it's just an amazing feat to be as quick as he is all of the time, and that truck is an absolute wondrous machine as well. Reverse Racing have certainly arrived on the scene in the past few years and just taken everybody and taken this championship by storm. Almost completely untouchable when it comes to race 1 and race 3, getting pole position and victories all of the time. And the great thing about it is that all of the other drivers and his fellow competitors all respect him for it as well. As I mentioned in our earlier broadcast, there's no sort of crying wolf or anything like that. You know, nobody's sort of putting it down to anything that's beyond the rules or anything untoward. You know, everybody knows that he's well within the limits and well within the regulations, and that he's just a very, very talented driver with a great team behind him. That perfect storm, you know, the scenario where everything comes together so well as a team with their machine and with their driver, and it's a joy to watch. It really is. A lot of people often complain about domination in motorsport because it apparently kills the sport, but it's not the case. It really isn't, because at the end of the day, all the other teams should see that as an incentive, you know, as a sort of inspiration to be as quick as that, you know, to constantly improve and make themselves better and do what they can to be up there with not just the best in Europe, I'd say some of the best in the world. You know, these drivers and their teams are just phenomenal people that really do put together a great championship. Anyway, while I'm not getting sentimental, we've got our beautiful Bio-LNG powered Iveco S-Way at the front of the field, leading Norbert Kish and Sasha Lenz, Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacetti, Jamie Anderson and Steffi Halm, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Andre Kurzim, Louis Requenco, John Newell, Stefan Faas, Mark Taylor, Heinrich Clementecker and Jose Rodriguez. The tense music is beginning once again in the background. And we'll go for take 2, shall we, everybody? Because as they come out of the final corners here at Le Mans in the beautiful French sunshine, round 27 of this 32-round campaign in the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is... wait for it. Go indeed. Norbert Kish starting from pole position then. Oh, there's contact at the back already. And look at that, Sasha Lenz. Well, I said he was going to be fired up. He's had a great launch now as the lights have gone out, and he's actually got in front of Norbert Kish down in towards turn 1. Norby's going to try and keep him all the way over to the right-hand side as I try and piece together whose mudguard's gone flying. Still side by side through the chicane, and I think Sasha Lenz has done it. Sasha Lenz has taken the race lead from Norbert Kish. Unbelievable stuff. Great performance already by Sasha Lenz down into turns 1 and 2. He's got the job done early. Looks like a massive lock up there by Antonio Albacetti. Just gives Jochen Hahn a little bit of a bump down the hill. Mark Taylor is sideways. I'm not sure if he got contact there or whether that's as a result of the previous contact that has knocked a mudguard off somebody. Some of the penalty markers go flying, but Sasha Lenz leads at Le Mans. Norbert Kish second. Then it's Jochen Hahn behind, Jamie Anderson and Antonio Albacetti reigniting their rivalry that they've had this season with a bit of contact. Steffi Halm in there as well, but that is quite the opposite start for Antonio Albacetti compared to what they had before. He's still side by side with Jamie. He shoveled him out wide, and now he doesn't want to give him that inside line either, down in towards Garage Vet. Antonio way down the inside. I think he clipped the penalty marker, but he's done a good job to get that stop to make the apex. Steffi Halm now behind them, then Andre Kurzim in 7th. Louis Requenco leading the Promoters' Cup in 8th place, of course, because Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is not out there in this race after the puncture that he had earlier. I think we've had a truck drop off at the back of the order as well. It seems like somebody isn't quite there. We've only got 12 showing up on our screen. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, I'm told, is rejoining the race, which is great to see. There's so much shuffling further down the order, though. So many of them just going this way and that way, trying to outdo one another. And we do now have 13 trucks showing on our screen, and even 14 with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in there. But it's Sasha Lenz with what's left of the front end of his truck leading the way in that gorgeous purple number 3 machine. Then it's Norby, then Jochen Hahn, then Antonio Albacetti and Jamie Anderson. battling away with Steffi Halm, Andrei Kurzim, Louis Requenco, Stefan Faas and others. So down the start-finish straight they go. 1 lap in the books here in round 27. This isn't normally what we see, is Norby not leading after the first lap. Norbert Kish is so good at leading from the front. He's not normally overtaken at the race starts, but here at Le Mans, especially with the layout of these first couple of corners, it really invites a big move and great commitment from drivers to take the race lead, because you're not on the inside for the first corner as the race leader. You're then going to be put on the outside for the exit of the chicane at the start of the lap. But Norbert is pushing. As long as he finishes on the podium, he will be champion. But we all know that he'll want to secure that with a race victory, not a second place. And there's the proof in the pudding. Down the inside of Sacha Lenz he goes into Virage La Chapelle. Is he going to get it done? He is. Lovely corner exit there from Norby, and he retakes the lead from his rival Sacha Lenz. The two of them had a fantastic fight for the championship in 2021, and they continue the fight on the circuit right now. There's a penalty marker in the middle of the road there that will get smacked out of the way very soon, I'm sure. Sacha Lenz continuing to put a bit of pressure on Norby, though. He's not letting him get away with that very, very quickly. We've been told that trucks 33 and 23 are under investigation for an incident at the start, which was Jamie Anderson and Antonio Albacete. There was quite a lot of contact between the two of them. So, as much as I love them all, I must say, no surprise. No further action, though, apparently, so all good. Jamie has actually opened up a bit of a gap over Steffi Halm, but Steffi has some of the bodywork of her truck flapping around there. So maybe there'd been a bit of contact with her involved in that one as well. And there is Sacha Lenz. He's really fired up, isn't he? I wasn't joking. Penalty marker comically rolls away while all the trucks batter their way through the final corners. And there are the teams watching on. Bobby Dimitrov there as well, studying form. He was the one playing Mr. Motivator early on to help Mark get in the zone. There's our top 4 in the race, top 4 in the championship as well. Look at the way these trucks move around that first corner and then hard on the brakes. You'd think they were remote control counterparts of these racing trucks, because they move like they are so much smaller than they are. Very nimble racing machines, these trucks. Sure, they may not be up to GT3 specifications or touring cars, but by God, they move. They absolutely move for 5.3 tons of machinery. 1,200 horsepower in most cases, 6,000 Newton meters of torque. Doesn't matter how much torque you've got, though, if you go as wide as that, Louis. And Stefan Faas goes down the inside of him. Penalty markers are plenty, everyone. He's like he's going bowling here in France. Smashes the bodywork off the truck. It's like they've all got active aero as they head down towards Virage de la Chapelle. Somehow Louis Requenco has held on to that, though, and Stefan Faas has now been absolutely mugged through there. Now Jose Rodriguez wants to get involved as well to help out his son Jose Eduardo, who is unfortunately a minute and 30 seconds down on these guys, so he's not going to be challenging for the lead in the Promoters' Cup in this race. But that's what this battle is for. Stefan Faas trying to get past Louis Requenco. Don't think Requenco's got a win in the category so far this year. He doesn't. He's only got 2 podium finishes in the Promoters' Cup as well. So it'd be great to see him get a victory, especially as he's had a big misfortune with his own truck and is now here racing in Lucas Hahn's machine. He won't have to apologise to Jochen for the bodywork, because that's his own bodywork that he's destroying by hitting penalty markers. Stefan Faas is looking fired up here. He's going to look down the inside of the number 64 machine into the right-hander. Don't think that was going to work that time round. Norbert Kish starting to open up a gap at the front of the field here as Lenz, Hahn and Albacete follow on. Then Jamie Anderson, Steffi Halm, Andrei Kurzim going well, considering the truck wouldn't move under its own power before. But look at this lot in the Promoters' Cup. These are the top 4 in the Promoters' Cup, with Jose Rodriguez in the middle of them there. There's a red and yellow flag, a striped flag for the start-finish straight, which either means there's debris on the circuit or some fluid down. Hopefully neither, really. There's a little bit of debris there just at the exit of the pit lane, but I don't think that's too bad, to be fair. They do still need to warn them of it, so active and quick stuff by the marshals. Reactive, I should say. Stefan Faas is going to be seeing this queue of trucks behind him and hating it now, knowing that he needs to get past Louis. Oh, a little bit of contact on the exit of the chicane there. He's tried to get his nose alongside as they go down the hill towards La Chapelle. Louis again running wide through there. Doesn't quite make the apex this time. And Stefan Faas, he's going to have the run off the corner here, but he's going to be on the outside for the next part of the circuit. That's the difficult bit here. More bodywork goes flying. And look, he's back on the outside again through Virage de Musée. There's a bit of contact, the two of them battle into each other. It's like Skittles with wheels. Jose Rodriguez kicking the back end out as well. He's getting all excited by this. Back in truck racing once again. It's lovely to have him back with him in the Rebo Connaught Racing Team machine. He's not in the Promoters' Cup though, based on his previous achievements and experience. And oh, there's an achievement for you, he says. Into the side of Stefan Faas. The two of them elbow each other, and there's big contact, and even more contact, and John Newell is tipped sideways as they rejoin the circuit. Well, Jose Rodriguez, I'm not sure if he's had some sort of problem there, but the truck looked completely uncontrollable. Not a clue what happened there. It looked like he absolutely just drilled Stefan Faas out of the way. I know that he's in the battle of the Promoters' Cup with his son, but it just seemed like he drilled him. Down the inside, there was contact as Stefan tried to cut across, but look, he just forces him off the road after that. He doesn't back out of it, then hits the side of John Newell. And then I'm not quite sure whether the truck's just carrying a lot of momentum here, but it's just completely flat and nearly spins it back the other way. Amazing drama and great entertainment, Jose, but wow. That was unreal. The battles are still going on further down as well, because it's still Louis Requenco from John Newell and Stefan Faas in the Promoters' Cup. John did absolutely nothing wrong there, I don't think. He was just going about his line. He expected the guys coming back on the circuit to be behind him by the time he'd gone past. I think he might have a puncture or something on that left rear, you know. Looks like that left rear wheel is very damaged, and yeah, it is flapping around, and you will see that on corner exit, yeah, it doesn't want to put the traction down. That's such a shame for John, because he was opportunistic and made the move. There's a big hit there from Stefan Faas on the back of him. They are absolutely smacking each other, but look at the control there by John at the front of this. He's saying absolutely no chance. I may have 5 wheels instead of 6, but you're not coming by. That is John's fighting spirit ringing true there. Mark Taylor wanted a piece of it as well. Jose Rodriguez is in the pits with damage. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker fancies this as well. This is the Promoters' Cup in fantastic form. Great entertainment and great defending by John Newell. He's got 1 less wheel than everybody else effectively, and he's still doing this. This is great to watch. Stefan Faas now will look down the inside. John should cover that one off, and he does. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker trying the outside line here. Don't forget, well, there might be a bit of contact here. The racing is still clean because it's all on 100% renewable HVO diesel, and it's fantastic entertainment as well. Who says being economic is boring? This is fantastic entertainment by these guys. Norby's on his way to go win the championship, but everybody is going to be locking their eyes on this battle in the Promoters' Cup, because John Newell wants another trophy for his cabinet and his shiny new kitchen as well, I imagine. Into the last couple of corners they go. And Louis Requenco, well, he's going to be loving that, because he is now breaking clear of them. Look at Stefan Faas's truck there. It's like it had torque vectoring on the back of it. Then he just floated sideways into the corner. He hit the brakes and the truck decided to go right. He's just gone straight into the back of John Newell, though, headbutts him into the final couple of corners. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker is now mugging Mark Taylor as well. He's going to try and go around the outside. He says, I'll show you some of Mr. Motivator's work if you'd like, Heinrich, because now all of a sudden finds himself down the inside of Stefan Faas, has to leave the circuit to make sure he doesn't make contact with him. That would have been the second time that Stefan got hit in the right rear. He'd be wondering how much bigger it is than the rest of the truck. Supreme entertainment, though, once again. They all hit that 100 miles an hour brick wall that they hit. We've got 2 Scanias against 2 MANs here. And John now will be slightly sideways up the hill. He's gotten used to it now. As Heinrich Clemens-Hecker sends it up the inside of Mark Taylor. Mark says, oh, right, okay. Is that how we're doing it, are we? Heinrich Clemens-Hecker doesn't make the move stick, but then it opens up a bit of daylight between themselves and Stefan Faas. So Stefan could maybe go for a move now without feeling as much pressure from behind, maybe for a corner or so, as Heinrich Clemens-Hecker tries to get back in behind Mark. And this is I say only, I don't want to devalue it, but this is only for 9th position. This is fantastic stuff. None of these guys would actually be eligible for the reverse grid pole position either, because you get that for finishing in 8th. And look at that by Heinrich Clemens-Ecker. There's a massive checkup on the inside, and he just goes around the outside of all of them. Brilliant stuff by Heinrich Clemens-Ecker. Pops his head round there and says, thanks very much, guys, I'll take that. Stefan Fast now covers the inside line. Now, this is actually 2 teams against each other. It's Sweden Power against Newell and Taylor, because John Newell and Mark Taylor are teammates, and the 2 Scania drivers are teammates as well as Sweden Power. Both of them operate their companies very often in Sweden, and obviously Scania being a Swedish brand. This is just epic stuff. Norby's still on his way to the championship at the top of the standings now. 2.6 seconds clear at the top of the race as well. Jochen Hahn still in 2nd position. Albacete in 4th place. Excuse me. Jamie Anderson in 5th. Steffi Alm 6th. Then Andrei Kurzim and Louis Riquenco in 8th place. I can't even catch a breath at this point, and that's just because these guys are all so entertaining. It's a shame about the Rodriguez family race that it would have been at the moment, with the 2 of them either out of the race or languishing behind due to grid penalties. But this is a great example by John Newell of how good these trucks are, even if they've got a puncture and a broken wheel on the left rear. They have 4 wheels on that rear axle, so the trucks can still operate at about 90% pace, even if they've got an entire puncture. Now, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will be a bit fuming to see this, because obviously he was pulled off the circuit before the race restarted because he had a puncture. But if the truck is like that before the race begins, then it is obviously a bit irresponsible to send them out there and get them competing with that state when they know they can fix it. When it happens mid-race, though, well, you've not really got any choice, but they're not going to be told to get off the racing circuit for it. Oh, John's run really wide there on the exit of the chicane. Back down the hill they go once more, and he's still in front. Is Stefan down the inside? He's not. Oh, Mark headbutts him. He says, I'll help my teammate out. Watch this. A little bit late on the brakes. I don't think he expected Stefan Fast to sort of slow it down as much as he did. Mark's smoking those front tyres down the hill, back up over the crest again. I'm not going to be able to speak by the end of today. I mean, I'm supposed to be going out for a meal later, and everyone's going to love it if I can't talk. But still, this is just great entertainment, isn't it? The European Truck Racing Championship, the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, giving us great entertainment on a Sunday afternoon once again. You can forget Formula One. This is where it's at. Stefan Fast is doing very well here not to hit the back of John Newell more often, to be honest with you, because he's having to brake a lot earlier. He's having to really wind back the pace. I expect he'll try and dive out to, I was going to say the left-hand side, which would have been our right-hand side of shot here. Oh, there it is. Looks down the inside into the chicane. He's going to be getting fed up now of not getting past that white and blue machine, but John again slows it down just enough, says thank you very much. I'll take this corner nice and tidy. It's corner exit where John might get done here, because obviously with having that tyre down and that wheel broken, he's not going to be able to get as much traction. Oh, he's moved across though. He says to Stefan, no, don't try it. Stefan still got himself down the inside, and well, the gap was going to disappear unfortunately, and it ended up doing. Heinrich Clemens-Ecker now side by side with John as well. Doesn't want to give up a single inch here though, does John Newell. Stefan Fast is now in front and can go chasing after Louis Riquenco, but Mark Taylor thinks better of this as well. He thinks, well, I can have a go at you now, Heinrich, as well, now that this is closed back up. Nearly more contact on the exit of the final corner. Dust kicked up everywhere. There's stones and gravel bouncing its way across the circuit. And this is hands down some of the best entertainment we've seen from the championship, this, and it's just 4 drivers in the Promoters Cup that are giving us a real good laugh here. It may not be a laugh from inside the cockpit, they'll be screaming at one another, but I tell you, where did that come from, Mark? Like Mark's car just sort of birthed a penalty marker then out of nowhere. Sorry, that really caught me off guard. Norbert Kish still leading the race at the moment, 3.8 seconds to the good. Sascha Lenz second place, Jochen Hahn in third, and this would be enough, steady on John, this would be enough for Norbert Kish to win his 5th title right now. Round again they go through Virage de Musée, and somehow John Newell is still holding on here. This has been, even if he doesn't get a podium out of this, it's been an inspired performance either way up to this point. You have to take your hat off to him as well. Hats off indeed. Mark Taylor down the inside of Heinrich Clemens-Ecker. Oh dearie me. Mark's doing everything he can to get those extra points back for his team. I wonder whether he damaged the truck or anything there with that contact. I apologise if you can hear an annoying buzzing noise like there's a wasp flying around, by the way. My neighbours have just decided to start strimming outside the front door. So apologies for that. It's all going on here this afternoon. But look, there you go. Mark tries it down the inside, tries to get it stopped as quickly as possible, locks up that front right wheel, and into the side of Heinrich Clemens Hecker he goes. And as expected, there is an incident under investigation there between Stefan Faas and John Newell. Seemed like John did just come across slightly in the braking zone, which is a bit naughty, but I'm not sure he completely evaporated the gap, but we'll have to see what the stewards make of that. That's not for me to speculate, that's for them to decide on. But it's not like that left rear wheel is growing back. You can see just how flat that tyre is as well around that corner. Unreal how flat that tyre is. It's absolutely decimated now by that wheel. So often when they have wheel-to-wheel contact, it just tears the rim and that just goes straight through the sidewall of the tyre. And John has got no response from that left rear now. But here is your race leader, Norbert Kish. No news is good news for him at the front. Sure, he had to get back past Sascha Lenz and regain that lead for one of the first times we've ever seen. But since then, he's disappeared up the road. Thanks again to Franz Steilberg from the FIA. He's let me know that Jose Rodriguez had a puncture, and the number 38 machine of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez had a potential broken spring on the suspension as well. So even more reason for it not to be out there on the circuit when the race began. There is Andrei Kurzim. In a bit of no man's land at the moment is Kurzim. 7th position as things stand. Steffi Halm is just in front of him on the circuit as well. And here is once again these three having a great battle. John Newell somehow holding on in front of Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor. And still they go this way and that way, trying to overtake one another and do what they can. By the way, Sascha Lenz would move back into 3rd in the championship if he finishes where he is, because he's going to gain 4 points on Antonio Albacete. Steffi Halm's 6th place would earn her 6 points over Andrei Kurzim's 4 points for 7th, so she would move another point or two further ahead. Another reminder for you that all of this racing takes place on HVO diesel that is 100% renewable as well, as part of the championship's amazing efforts towards sustainability to keep this sort of racing going. The championship and the organisers have agreed to the Paris Agreement to be carbon neutral by 2038 at the latest in truck racing. Everybody sees it as this big diesel guzzling horrible monster of a thing, but it's a massively entertaining form of motorsport, as you are seeing here, that is all done on sustainable fuels. Just looking at the Promoters' Cup battle as well to try and figure it out, but Louis Requenco gaining 20 points here is doing a great job, and Stefan Faas moving a lot closer to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez at the top of the standings. It's incredibly close to the rest of them though. John Newell would move further away from Mark Taylor in the standings as well with this. But as long as Jose Eduardo Rodriguez finishes the race, he will still get some points at least. He'll get 6 points for finishing where he is. And he'll be 36 clear in the standings by my maths anyway. John Newell still somehow holding on with his tyre. The penalty markers have been absolutely ruined at this point. We're going to have to invest in some more. We'll have to take some donations, I think. Heinrich Clemens Hecker trying it once more around the outside of John Newell. John says, nope, not on your life, sunshine. Gets the elbows out. Mark Taylor flinging the back end of his truck around as well. But here is Norbert Kish, your race leader, everybody. Currently a 4-time champion. He's currently won 2 on the bounce. He's looking to win his 3rd title on the bounce, which he will do in just 1 lap's time. We start the final lap of the race here in round 27 of the championship. The battle is still on for 2nd place as well, as Jochen Hahn continues to chase down Sascha Lenz. But if Norbert Kish takes this win, as mentioned, he will equal the great Steve Parish with 5 championship titles. He'll be one of only, I believe, 5 drivers to ever win 3 on the bounce. And he will join some real legends in not just truck racing, but in motorsport as well. It's been another joy to see him doing this season, and it's not over yet either. It's very far from over, because we have another race later on today and then an entire race weekend next week at Jarama in Madrid. One of the most sought after circuits on the calendar, Jarama. It's a real treat for truck racing, and it'd be great to see Norby and the team there enjoying themselves, gloves off, after taking a championship crown. They've already claimed the team's championship with Revesh and T-Sport. With their teammate Antonio Albacete, they are way too many points clear in the championship now for anybody to catch up with them, with one race meeting to go. But in terms of the outright Drivers' Championship, Norbert Kish and his amazing squad of guys down at Revesh Racing are about to do something historic. There is Big Red Baloo, the MAN, making its way into the chicane with just a couple of corners left to go. Sasha Lenz still just holding on in front of Jochen Hahn there. He's worked hard for this. There is Antonio Albacete in 4th position. But wherever you are around the world, whether you're watching on the international TV broadcasts, whether you're watching on the YouTube live streams as well, whether it's in English, German or Spanish commentary, I want you to all put your hands together for this man, because again in 2023 we have seen incredible dominance, fantastic performances and outright dominance by Norbert Kish, who is your 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Champion. He is now a 5-time champion and does 3 on the bounce, something that has rarely been seen before. And what an amazing achievement that is for this incredible man and his wonderful team. Can't say enough good things about Norbert Kish. Honestly, he really is a star, and I run out of superlatives every weekend that we come and do this, but honestly they deserve it. They really do deserve it. There's Csaba Bacco and the team, hugs all round for the guys. They'll be over the moon with that. And what an entertaining race to do it in as well. There was so much going on further back that we almost forgot. But that was epic. Epic stuff from Norby, and he had to work a bit harder for that one as well. He didn't have the lead into the first couple of corners. I'm just keeping my eye on the results further back, by the way, to see. John Newell did lose out to Heinrich Clemens-Hecker in the end with 1 lap to go. Heinrich Clemens-Hecker gets the next podium position in the category, just finishes ahead of his countryman Mark Taylor. But I mean, hats off to John Newell in that one as well, because boy, he did a good job of that, didn't he? But it's Norbert Kish who wins the race, Sasha Lenz in 2nd place, and Jochen Hahn finishing in 3rd. And Louis Requenco, by the way, not to take anything away from Louis, we didn't forget Sunshine, but he takes his first win of the season in the Promoters' Cup category. It'll be great to see Louis up there on the podium again. He's only been up there twice this season. But wow. Again, I run out of superlatives for Norbert Kish because he continues to amaze us, and he has the outright respect of all of his fellow competitors and teams that joined him out there on the circuit. And I am very excited to see what the celebration will be like here. There's still plenty to fight for in the championship behind him, though. It's still close between Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz for 3rd. Jochen Hahn stretching his legs a little bit now in front of the two of them. But we still have a race meeting and one more race here at Le Mans still to go. And they still have the horns on that truck as well, which are, I can tell you from personal experience, very loud. And Norby will be sounding them a lot, I imagine. Drifting to celebrate. Watch the weight transfer here. Look at that. It's just awesome, isn't it? You can hear the reaction around the circuit. Listen to the crowd. Roaring like mad with the drifting from Norby. And it's lovely to hear and see as well that a lot of the drivers behind know the achievement that has just been completed in front of them on the circuit, and they too almost sound like they're celebrating what's been going on. The leaf blowers are out, or gravel blowers as they are now, to clean up the mess that we've made of the final corners. Sorry, Le Mans. But here he is, first time back in the paddock for your 5-time champion, Norbert Kish. 3 on the bounce is an impressive feat in itself. But when he's come from winning 2 championships to having to wait a good few years to win another one, and then come and do it in such dominant form with this amazing squad, it really is epic. They'll just be taking the steering wheels off the quick releases and getting themselves all prepped to hop out, as Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn join Norby on the podium. And there you go. Arm in the air and a wave to the crowd as Norbert Kish wins his 5th European Truck Racing Championship. Louis Requenco popping in there just behind to take his victory in the category. And let's hope Norby, yep, I was going to say, remembers to unplug his radio. You can see now the emotion will come pouring out. A round of applause from just about everybody there, and a hug from Sascha Lenz as well. And he will give the team a massive hug too. Absolutely unstoppable for the last 3 seasons, this squad. And like I say, they really, really do deserve it. I almost don't want to talk over all of the celebrations because it's such a heartfelt moment for him and the team. And he will undo the straps and, of course, take his lid off. And the relief, I imagine, will come pouring out as Norby completes another job. There's Csaba Backo, chief engineer of reformation Racing. And I'm sure we'll get a reaction from Norby in just a second from Lino once he manages to reciprocate the massive amount of congratulations that he gets. And a bow from Sascha Lenz as well. Very respectful stuff. Sascha congratulating the team also. It's lovely to see that, though, isn't it? It's the sportsmanship between all these squads and the one truck family. You know, it's not just a hashtag that we that we carry around with us for the sake of it. You know, there is such a great feeling amongst all the teams and drivers and everyone involved. It almost brings a tear to your eye. It's fantastic. And Sascha and Jochen clearly in high spirits as well, having a good laugh after the race. A well done from Tim Frost at T-Sport Bernau for Norby. And even, I believe, Davide Califano making his way there to say well done to Norby as well. We're going to go down to Norby and she's going to get the reaction from him just now. And he is now a 5-time champion.
Congratulations to the 5-time champion. This has been the perfect atmosphere to re-celebrate the championship. You're happy, I don't have to ask you this.
Yeah, of course, very, very happy. Very nice moment, you know, to have such a good season and then have the championship, win the championship with a victory, which was, you know, a little bit hard fought, you know, because I lost the lead in the beginning. But yeah, you know, we had the pace, and I just want to say a big thank you to the team for Rayways Racing and for our team owner, Mr. Rayways, because, you know, they put in a lot of effort for this to make this happen throughout the whole season. A lot of time, energy, money, work from the guys, you know. So I am really happy, and I am really thankful for the team and for the whole Rayways family. So, you know, really, really happy, really nice moment.
You start very relieved now on the 4th one. Are you like super relaxed now for the 4th race?
You know, the pressure is always on, you know, because even though you're champion, you still don't want to lose or whatever, you know. So, you know, we still try to do the maximum we can, but, you know, safely, medium risk.
We have a little celebration for you because Steve Parrish, former European champion, he has a message for you that we don't want to withhold you. So here you go.
Thank you.
European Truck Racing Championships. I managed to do it a few years ago, so I'm very, very pleased for you. Don't go on and make it 6 because that would embarrass me. But no, very, very well done. And from Steve Parrish in Mallorca on my holidays, congratulations.
Thank you, man. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, Steve is a huge figure, a legend in track racing, you know, and to equal him, you know, it's really nice. But there are still 1 man to go, you know. We have Johan in our sights.
All right, so you go get your trophy, have your champagne, have your celebration. Congratulations so much. And actually, maybe I can have a quick chat with Sascha Lenz, because you were the man of the hour, like killing it in the front, and everybody was like sitting in front of the television screen like, what's going on? Like, did you have the extra boost right now? Or what just happened?
No, the guys make a really good job, my mechanic guys. Yeah, the first start was really shit. The clutch was spinning. Yeah, and the second start, and I hope, please do this not again. So the start was really brilliant. I go in the first corner, P1. In the chicane, I go left as P1, and then comes Nobby, kick me out. I say, okay, I cannot drive the chicane normal. I cut the chicane. 1 lap or 2 laps later, I see him in the mirror, and then I think, okay, go. It's not my opinion to block him. He's a really good driver, it's for sure. Correct that he is a champion this year. So I make a good race, and P2, I'm happy.
You collected more points. Now you're back in third in total. So are you calculating points for the next races to come now?
No, the second race I want to give my best, and then we see on the end what we have.
All right, I can tell you're still sitting in the truck in your head, so you go up there because this is celebrating time. Chaz, back to you.
Yes, again, apologies for Sasha's language there to our English viewers, but I'm sure you can all appreciate by now, above everything else, it's just endearing. Love Sasha to bits, and he always just says it how it is, you know, with his interviews. He's a fantastic competitor and a lovely, lovely human being. A quick thanks as well to our wonderful Hungarian friends at motorsportol.hu who provided us with the message from Steve Parish as well. And thanks, of course, to Steve as well for sending his heartfelt congratulations to Norby, and I hope he enjoys his holiday in Mallorca. But it's great to see that there is so much support and love for Norby doing this amazing, amazing thing. And, well, as he said, Jochen is the only one now with more championships. He and Norby have 11 titles between them. It's remarkable, isn't it? But again, the talent involved in this championship and on our grid here will never be underappreciated. There is so much appreciation for all of our drivers and competitors here in the series, and we love watching them race. And Norby has done it again, everybody. Absolutely dominant force this season. And we just looked there at the front of Stefan Fass's truck. He's definitely had a busy time in this race. John Newell, I tell you what, he'll need a beer after that one, but he'll have to wait till after race 2. Norbert Kish takes the win and his 5th championship title. He wins by 5.4 seconds over Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn, with Antonio Albersetti finishing in 4th place. Jamie Anderson finishes 5th, with Steffi Haumann 6th, gaining a couple more points on Andrei Kurzim in their championship battle. Louis Requenco takes a win in the Promoters' Cup ahead of Stefan Fass and Heinrich Clemens Hecker. And then completing the field, John Newell, Mark Taylor and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, with Jose Rodriguez retiring from the race. As you can see, the sun's still bearing down on the circuit right now, and the drivers will be called up to the podium one at a time. And there is the aforementioned man with 6 titles, Jochen Hahn, in numbers the most successful European truck racing driver in the history of the championship. And a very beautifully located Hungarian flag there in front of our cameras, as Sascha Lenz joins Jochen up on the podium, and a big handshake from him. Those two are always mischievous, and I imagine Norby's going to need his spare race suit after this, because I think he's about to get drenched. But there's a big cheer for your now 5-time champion, Norbert Kish. Huge handshakes from his fellow competitors, and a well done to him. And a wonderful show of respect by the guys to this incredible human being that continues to win, win, win all of the time. Jochen is presented with his trophy for finishing that race in 3rd place. And I can tell you that that trophy has got a little bit of company, because before this race weekend, Jochen had 284 podiums. So a couple of trophies, to say the least. Sascha Lenz kisses his trophy. He worked hard for that one, and he was very appreciative of the team, as he always is, for that 2nd position. And that is going to be one of the most important race-winning trophies that Norby has collected. A big point and appreciation for the team. But that race win crowns him as a 5-time champion. Look at the smiles. It means everything to him. Bless him. And there you go, the Hungarian national anthem for Norbert Kiss, joined on the podium by Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn. The three of them will now make their way up to the top step of the podium for their photographs, which will be taken from wherever at this point, and then they will turn over to the right-hand side for the official photographers. And then it'll be time for champagne, and I think they're going to be telling Norby now that he's going to get soaked. They'll change their hats, of course. And Jochen holds the trophy high, very happy, of course. And big appreciation to the fans as well, which is oh so important here at Le Mans because so many of them turn up. And there is Norby spraying the champagne after taking his 5th title. And I believe Sasha's going to drench him. Norby knows it's coming as well. And there you go. Champagne showers for Norbert Kirsch after race 27 in the 2023 season. Sasha and Jochen almost confused as to why he ran off. He's going to try and get Sasha back now. It's even more intense battling on the podium, isn't it? Oh, it's all part of the fun and games here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Our drivers all get along so well, so do the teams. And that camaraderie comes out tenfold when they all get on the podium together. Here are the championship standings after that round. Norbert Kirsch is crowned champion with 354 points. Jochen Hahn on 268. And now Sascha Lenz moves back in front of Antonio Albacete. We've got a thrilling battle going on for 3rd place. Steffi Halm is now 5th with 6 points over Andre Kursim. And Jamie Anderson is in 7th, only 4 points back as well. We'll have to keep an eye on him coming through the order with those points. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is 8th ahead of Stefan Faas and Lucas Hahn, that completes the top 10. Then we've got a gap back to Mark Taylor and Adam Lachko with John Newell in there as well. Heinrich Clement Hecker closing in on those guys with Louis Requenco, Jonathan Andre and Erwin Klein-Nagelvort completing the field of runners that we've had so far this season. And I believe now they're going to do an interview with Norby up on the podium. And he gives us a fist bump at least. Very, very happy indeed. Richard and Andre give him a fist bump as well as he makes his way off the podium. And now we will wait to get our drivers out there on the podium for the Promoters' Cup, which, like I say, will be the first win of the season in the category for Louis Requenco. Heinrich Clement Hecker makes his way up to the podium. 2nd place goes the way of Stefan Faas. Those boys had to work very hard to get past John Newell in that one. They'll be really, really appreciative of a podium result there. And your category winner in the Promoters' Cup for the first time this season, Louis Requenco. A great story of the weekend as well. Louis using his friend Jochen Hahn's truck and taking a category victory in said truck as well. Great stuff to see. Especially after coming back from such a massive engine failure at Zolder. Louis will be over the moon with that. Heinrich Clement Hecker holds the trophy high for 3rd place. Stefan Faas holds the trophy high for 2nd position as well. And a nod to the team and their appreciation. And Louis Requenco, as you see, absolutely over the moon with that. You love to see it, don't you? He's such a great character in the paddock as Louis Requenco, and he really does deserve that. And now we will get the Spanish national anthem for our category-winning driver. And there you go. A clearly very happy Louis Requenco, and a very deservingly happy Louis Requenco as well. He's worked so hard this season on constantly improving in the Iveco S-Way, getting quicker and quicker all the time. And after that massive engine failure, to be using Lucas Hahn's truck for this race meeting, it's certainly paid dividends for him at the moment. He'll be really pleased with that, and that's a great trophy to take back to the workshop. And now, will they spray the champagne on each other? Potentially not. It's always a bit more of a chilled out affair now in the Promoters' Cup with the champagne. They're going to take that back for a drink this evening, I imagine, after a long day's hard work here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We'll have a look at the Promoters' Cup standings now, though. And as you see, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez leads the way on 315 points to the 279 of Stefan Faas. John Newell is now on 201 points after scoring 10 in that one. And Mark Taylor finds himself on 190. Lucas Hahn is on 172 ahead of Louis Riquenco's 170. He's going to overtake him soon. Heinrich Clementecker also going to be moving up there as he has 161 points. It's all very close all the way through. Jonathan Andre and Erwin Klein-Nagelvoort complete the runners as well, but they are race-by-race entrants and have not been with us for every single race this season. So, I don't know how we can quite top that one, to be honest. It was a race full of drama with lots of entertainment. We'll have a look back at some of the very best pictures of what went on. And after a first aborted start with an issue for Andrei Kurzim, luckily he was able to get back onto the grid and back up to full pace. He eventually went on to finish inside the top 10 and get some championship points. On the rerun, though, it was an amazing start by Sascha Lenz that saw him take the lead in the early stages from Norbert Kisch. Bit of contact and argy-bargy here and there in the pack, but it was great racing from the get-go. Jamie Anderson had to work hard to defend, while Norbert Kisch had to work hard to get the lead back off Sascha. The two of them had a great fight, but eventually Norby was through. The real battles then kicked off behind as Stefan Faas tried to get past Louis Riquenco, with Jose Rodriguez trying to come through past him as well. There was humongous contact between the two of them. Both of them ended up off the road and clipping John Newell as well. And that's what set us up for a really intense fight in the Promoters' Cup. John, with only 5 wheels on the truck, was then hanging on for dear life ahead of the sparring Stefan Faas, Heinrich Clementecker and Mark Taylor. And somehow, for the majority of the race until the penultimate lap, managed to keep them all behind. He still finished ahead of Mark in the end, but at the very front, it was Norbert Kisch who took the win and his 5th championship title. Back down there now into the pit lane and/or paddock to Lena.
And the Promoters' Cup and the winners of the Promoters' Cup. This has been a really fantastic race, also thanks to you guys. First of all, I'm going to start off with Louis, because his truck burned. I know you all know it because you have seen the races going on in Zolder. Then he decided to use the truck of Lucas Hahn, which he allowed him to do, which is one truck family for sure. And I'm wearing your fan color right now because you did a fantastic job. How are you feeling now?
Bueno, la verdad es que la carrera ha sido disputada. Estaba saliendo en un puesto que para mí era el mejor de toda la temporada. Bueno, lo he ido peleando. Creo que llevaba demasiada agua en el tren delantero, por tanto me deslizaba mucho de adelante. Pero bueno, al final he provocado que los de atrás se complicaran un poco, se entraran en conflicto y al final he cogido 5 segundos de ventaja y bueno, al final he terminado bien. Okay, gracias.
So he is really happy. I mean, he had to fight through as well and he had to get used to the new truck. And I just spoke to the team of Jochen Hahn and they had a look at his truck and all the pipes, all the lines, everything was burned, and they were they're not gonna go fix it, so he's gonna go get the other truck, which obviously helped. And I just heard that he is thinking of buying another truck, a new one. Next year, nuevo camión, ¿sí?
Sí. Bueno, lo tenemos todo preparado para el año que viene ya poderlo estrenar y mientras que llega el año que viene hacer test, porque hay que practicar otro tipo de conducción que es más efectiva para los circuitos.
So, congratulations to you. Very nice. And I'm very sorry, Clemens, that I'm wearing the green right now, but sometimes you go with the underdogs. But you really have done a fantastic job. Stefan, he's still breathing because this really has been bumps out and fighting through, hasn't it?
It was like a train, so we are so close and everybody was bumping at each other. But it was a great race.
Are you afraid when you're so close? Because you can go up to 160 kilometers per hour, which means they're heavy cars on a very high speed. How does it feel to you, or are you not even thinking such a thing when you're so close?
Well, when you're so fast, so close together, so when you're fast, that's not a problem, but to find the right brake point, because when the guy
in front of you is watching in the mirror and brake too early, you sit on him.
We saw a lot of smoke coming out of those brakes, so I think also your mechanics might have to recheck for race number 4 today.
Yes, so now we check the truck and we will see what happens.
All right, I think everything is fine with your trucks. Thank you so much. See you later on, maybe here again for the next interview. And yeah, this has been it for now with the Promoters Cup, but we have a small video prepared for you about Norbert Kish and what his past years and his amazing championships he has been running through so far. Look for yourself.
Our very deserving 5-time champion, Norbert Kish, came from a similar background to yours truly, sim racing. Before clinching his 5th title, we interviewed him to paint a picture of how he came up from the virtual world to be where he is today amongst the greats.
Sim racing was, I think very important for me, because when doing races online, you do it real time. You race against other people, and you have the same experience basically, for maybe even a more crazy experience, let's say like that, because there is no risk and no money involved, so there is no damage as in money when you race online. So people are usually a little bit more crazy, and they take more risks. I was, good on the simulator, was winning some championships on the internet, and then a real team owner saw me, so then he said that, okay, come and try the real car. And 2016 was my first full season in relay racing. It was great. Renault Clio Cup in Hungary, there was, the best drivers. It was a great experience, and come in as a rookie and, start to win races right away. It was, very, very, a little bit surprising and a very good experience. Fortunately, after 2006, there was a chance to step up, and there was the Seat Leon Super Cup coming in Hungary. The car was, next level. It was a factory racing car, The most important thing was that I learned a lot. And, in the end, I was the champion there. And I think in 2009, I was doing both championship together. So I was racing in the Formula Renault 2000 and in the Suzuki Swift Cup on the same weekends. And I won the Suzuki Championship as well, and I was the Hungarian Championship in the Formula Renault category as well. And then the track racing opportunity was coming, and obviously the opportunity came out of a sad event, because Oxo Racing team was already existing in the championship, and then they lost the driver in a plane accident. And then after that, they were looking for a driver, and that's when I came into the picture. Yeah, 2014 was a great year, and it was a very, very difficult year, because at that time, MAN still had different levels of engines, and I never forget that Johan and Antonio had the highest level of engine, and I had one level lower engine. So, we were not expecting to fight for the championship. On the last day, here in Le Mans, on Sunday, it was raining, and I was on pole position, and we were like shaking. But we were close, and we made it. In 2015, we all had the same engines in the MANs. We were very, very strong. So yeah, that year we were dominating. In January of 2020, I started to talk with Mr. Revis, because I knew him already a couple of years before. He was always, coming to the grid and talking to me. And then he said that, Norby, okay, one day I will decide, we will join, we will make a team, and you will win again. And I said, okay, Mr. Revis, let's do it. I'm ready anytime. After a couple of weeks of consideration, in the middle of January, he made the decision that, okay, let's try to move forward. It was a great thing, from Mr. Revis, and I am thankful for him for the eternity, for starting the team and giving us the opportunity, to even through COVID, to step up and build a team and build the racetrack and improve the racetrack and go testing and do the races and be there and be competitive.
I'm sure you'll all agree it's a fantastic story, and hope you'll all join us in congratulating Norbert on this phenomenal achievement.
Congratulations again to Norbert Kish, our European Champion of the Year 2023. But stay with us, 4:35, we're going to be back for race number 4, and we're still having a lot of positions to be fighting for: second place, third place, fourth place, and the Promoters Cup. We're not done yet, so bear with us, 4:35, see you in a bit, and let's have a little celebration.